Hello, brilliant souls. Welcome to another video. Dante here, out by Lake Atitlan. The sun's shining. The volcanoes aren't erupting. They haven't done that for hundreds of years. Somebody said that they thought the volcanoes would erupt when they kept saying that word, and I'm gonna be okay. Um, so today I want to talk about ways we can put our gifts out into the world. And mostly I'm here to help people get out of their own way. So it's so common that we operate with this inner self-saboteur that is convincing us that we're not good enough yet and that we have to keep working and that there's other people that are better than us and so on and so on and so on. And the saboteur will pick up on half-truths, but not the full story. And we have to really work to let the saboteur kind of fall away and to stop listening to it. So I'm going to talk about some ways that we can do that. And first of all, it's really important to gain this sort of understanding. I think this is the biggest piece of it, is that you aren't here to be perfect. I'm not perfect. None of the big celebrity healers or whoever they are perfect. In fact, a lot of them are some of the most controversial figures out there. And if we slow ourselves up and trying to make sure everything's right, or we know enough, or we've done enough before we go out and we help the people we're meant to help, then we lose our momentum and we kind of just stay stuck where we are. You're not supposed to be perfect. And also, you are really only supposed to be at the point in your journey that's a little bit further than the people that you're helping. You're intending to help them take the next steps. And consider this, that if you are all the way at the top of the staircase, a lot of the people who are down here at the bottom, your message, you'd be shouting really loud, you'd be expending and extraining a lot of energy, and them all the way down here, they would probably only hear bits of it. It would probably come in a little bit distorted, and they would see you all the way there at the top of the staircase being like, how in the world am I going to get there? I just don't know. And it would almost in a way discourage them from coming all the way. And so, there's a lot of people, not a lot, and there's a couple people that I'm noticing this with, that I work with or have worked with, that there's just not the energy to continue because they are not really at a point where what I'm saying to them can be integrated, and they keep asking the same questions, and they can feel the energy like, oh, this is high vibration stuff, but they're not at the point that they can go all the way. And so I've not pushed them further, and they've not pushed me. And what I kind of see is that they need someone kind of intermediary. And so there's a lot of intermediary people that I'm working with that are not there, putting themselves out there for all of those people who are kind of stuck and lost to initiate their journey. So we, again, can best help the people that are a little bit further behind on the path than we are. And I just want to check myself with this language a little bit. All of these languages are relative. Like, we can say something and from another perspective the opposite is true. That paradoxical nature is very inherent in opening up to spiritual realities, where we see things from many different dimensions. At one dimensional level, something is true. At another dimensional level, the opposite is true. And so when we talk about, source and fifth dimensional consciousness and all of this, everything is one. It's all one thing, and we're all the same being. And so we all are at the same level. We're all equally deserving and equally beautiful and equally magical. And then at this human level, there is this experience. At this 3D level, there's experience and knowledge and tools that you gain. So when I'm speaking about different levels, I'm speaking to that level, and I am definitely not ever saying, and I hope I never give off the impression that I'm somebody who sees people as, because they're not as talented or skilled, they're less valuable. They're less important or worthy. That's not true, and that's the opposite of what I stand for. And so, yeah, continuing, there's this idea of skill and experience. We can talk about that. Because, again, if you don't put yourself out there and share your gifts into the world and say, here I am, I'm offering this thing, it's powerful, it's great, it's brilliant, come check it out, then you don't gain the experience to actually go to the next levels. And oftentimes we're there doubting ourselves. Can I actually do this? Am I capable of doing this? Maybe we've even done a training and we haven't applied those skills for some time, or we haven't applied those skills outside of the container of the classroom, and we're questioning ourselves. But really, we're not going to see the evidence that we're there and we're capable and we have the skills until we put them to use. And again, every time we put our skills to use, whatever they are, our muscle memory for those skills grows, and it becomes easier to do that, and then we flow into it, and at a point it becomes effortless to just put ourselves out there and do it. So do not allow for your sense of inadequacy or inexperience to slow you down, because you're forever going to be stuck at the same point if you see that way. You cannot possibly gain an experience if you don't just step up and do it. So some of these advices are just as simple as do it. It doesn't all have to be that complex. So another thing to, again, see is do not compare yourself to others doing this gift, whatever your gift is. Especially don't compare yourself to people who've been doing it for a lot longer or who are at a certain level. There's no need, because, again, everyone is a unique individual being, and the way that you work with a concept or a tool or a healing modality is going to be tons different than the way another person works through that. And what people are really attracted to when they work with you is you. It's your own unique way of doing it. There's tons of people on YouTube, on social media, saying generally the same things that I'm saying in a different way. And it's attracting the audience that I'm attracting because my take on it and my translation of a lot of these universal truths appeal to people most. So if we get into this mindset, oh, it has to be original, somebody is already doing this thing that I'm doing, I only know how to do this because so-and-so and so-and-so has told me. Well, again, we're all kind of uniquely blending together all of these ideas. The way that you make your fruit smoothie is going to be totally different. You may take this portion of those ingredients and that percent and throw this in and that in, and it's going to come out different. So just allow yourself to be uniquely who you are and don't worry about it. You've got it. Another thing to say would be, some people are going to work with a sort of professional audience, and some people are going to, have something else that is their income or their greatest passion in the moment, and then be helping people on the sides, be putting these tools to use on the sides, and that's really well and good. There is so many different ways that we can be healers and work to help and serve others. So whatever you're comfortable with now, are the edge of your comfort zone, the very edge. What is beyond your comfort zone? That's where we want to go. If you're already kind of helping people casually, what if you did it for donation? If you're already accepting donation, what if you set a price? If you already set a price, what if you raised it? What if you worked with new audiences? Push yourself, again, a little bit further than where your comfort zone is. And every time you will find that if you just say, okay, this is who I am, this is what I stand for, it's going to be a lot easier to go ahead and accept and experience what your magic is. So we can't do this without courage. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the ability to do what you love and what fills your heart with the greatest, most powerful joy in spite of the fear. So if you're afraid, that's really good. Don't allow this sort of demonization of fear that is our kind of modern spiritual culture to slow you down. And what a lot of people don't get is that, yes, I mean, fear is the opposite of love. Fear is the lowest vibration. But in order to transform that fear, in order to raise to higher levels, we have to love and accept that fear. And the best way for that fear to transmute is for it to be visible to others. Because then when there's another witness, it allows for this another source of energy to come in and start to clear that stuff out. So posting vulnerable shares, speaking vulnerably in groups about your fears and your concerns, it's such a powerful way to get this stuff moving. If you just keep it locked in, it's going to stay there forever. If it's just something you tell your therapist about, you'll probably be talking about it for years and years. But if you every time it comes up, you share about your resistances to audiences that are able to hear it, and you fully let your heart out there, that those things are going to transmute so much quicker, tons quicker, effortlessly quicker. So just let it be seen. There's nothing to be afraid of, really. And when there's fear there and we have that understanding at the back of our mind, there's nothing to be afraid of. This is irrational. This is illogical. I'm going to let it go. Magic happens. Now, I think those are kind of the basics of what we just really need to do. So some kind of hacks to accelerate this process. One is to just visualize yourself as if you've already done it. What is the version of you who's already confident, who's already stepping into healership, creativity, self-expression, being an artist, being a teacher, being whoever you are, being a channel in the way that you envision? What does that look like? Can you get a sense of images of yourself helping people, putting yourself out there, putting this brand on yourself, if you like that, speaking in front of groups, doing group healings? Take a snapshot of all of those different images, the ones that call to you. And even if you've never even thought of this before, but you're interested in this healing path, just ask your higher self to show you in a vision, what is my purpose? What is the culmination of all of these gifts being shared with the world? And take a look at that. What does that look like and feel like? And then as you imagine as if it's already happened, tap into the feeling of it. What does it feel like in your body to be sharing? Is there a pressure? Is there a feeling of like, whoa, this is intense, I'm having anxiety? But at the same time, is there a feeling of, oh, this feels so good. I know that as I share my love and people receive it, the world heals, and I feel the power and the magnitude of the love that I'm pouring out, and I know that as I pour it out, it's coming back to me. How does that feel in your body? Get a sense of that. So visualize and keep, whenever you catch yourself in these kind of critical images or ideas about yourself, focus on that image that you've created and allow all of your energy to return there. Allow yourself to rest in that vibration of love, connection, expansion more of the time. And another tool is really shadow work. It's to, we often will have resistance to put ourselves out there because there's certain ideas and certain qualities we really don't want to embody. Maybe we are afraid of being arrogant. We're afraid of being stupid. We're afraid of being sloppy. We're afraid of being a copycat. We're afraid of being there. I don't know. Those are the first ones that came to me. There's probably a lot more. Ask yourself what you don't want others to see in you if you became more visible. And just free journal, write it all out, and then look at every single one of those qualities and ask yourself, well, what is the opposite of those qualities? And then if it's arrogance, then right, okay, well, I am humble. And then free journal at all of the ways that you are humble. If you wrote you're a copycat, look at the ways that you're original and write down all the ways that you're original, and kind of play these mind games with yourself to kind of show you that these qualities are one and the same. Whenever there's a shadow quality, it really is just the shadow, literally, of the light cast upon the positive quality. And hence, it is the same as that quality. It is only that quality when we are not conscious of ourselves or conscious of what we're doing. That shadow is cast. But by embracing that shadow and letting our resistance down to that shadow, we can then come to embody the light aspect of it. So do that shadow work. And it also, comes with saying that, tapping back to the very first thing I said, it's like you're working with people on that are just a little bit further behind their path than you are. And you are also not perfect. So part of the process of clearing out these shadows and these things that are causing resistance within us is to have emotional release processes. They're normal, they're natural. And there is this sort of weird image that we create from what we see in a lot of the self-help industry, with these perfect looking people talking about always feeling good and never feeling bad, and all of these like crazy ideas we are receiving can give us the sense that, well, if I was good enough to help other people heal, I wouldn't feel anxiety, I wouldn't feel anger, I wouldn't feel fear at all. Oh no, I'm feeling these things. Something is so wrong with me. And that's a trap. That is such a total trap. I go through emotional ups and downs as well. I'm kind of in a generally really good spot now for the past month or two. It's been progressively getting better. The moments between those swings up and down are easier, but even when I was first doing this, and I was just going through hell sometimes, it was like you raise your energy into this higher frequency, and then more beliefs, more negativity, more stuff that I was holding on to had to just come up and explode through me sometimes. And there would be some bright moments followed by dark nights, and as I came to apply the tools, many of the tools I'm sharing with you in this video, to move forward in spite of it, then I would find that after those darkest nights would come the brightest days, would come the greatest light. And so I kept going in spite of it. So we all have to kind of develop that resilience and know that, our emotions aren't stopping us or impeding us. And even if right after you get off that call or get done with that massage or get done whatever your creative or healing or magical thing is, you go back into that emotional state of more constricted emotion to release it, that's totally fine. And that's actually quite common that, after we go up to help and serve, we drop back down. And that's fine, because as long as we're able to raise our frequency to the occasion, it's natural to go into that downswing. What is the downswing really? Because a lot of people misunderstand it. A lot of people think that the downswing is something about them that's wrong. But the downswing is really just the state we need to go in to release our negative beliefs. Healing is feeling, so we can't release those negative beliefs if we don't feel them. And once we gain the tools for shadow work, of being able to ask ourselves, what am I believing about myself to be true that's causing me to feel this way? Okay, I'm believing I'm inadequate. Well, what if I looked for reason to show me that I'm totally competent and totally capable? Play those games, journal it all out, write it all down. Things switch. And there's the other tool, of course, of just feeling. Not letting the mind do its trick of fooling you with all of the thoughts, and just feel in your body. Where does this constricted energy sit? Can I breathe love and light into it? Can I feel it? Can I invite my higher self to send me a download, a transmission through my crown chakra? Can I invite the energy up from the earth into this place where I feel constriction and love and accept myself in spite of it? Can I affirm to myself that what I am feeling, I am healing, and the more I diminish my resistance to it, the quicker and clearer it will vanish from my system. When we can do that, magic happens. And by being human, we actually allow ourselves to connect deeper with those we're helping. I don't want to present myself as a superhuman, and I don't want to impart that to anyone. And I'm seeing now with a lot of the division in all communities, and including the spiritual community, what I'm seeing from my perspective, what is the negative sort of spin-off is a lot of ego, is a lot of, well, my beliefs aren't questionable, I'm definitely right, and I'm kind of superhuman, and these other people are kind of superhuman, and trust craziness. It's all about ego, and it's all about, spiritualizing the ego. Who's ascending? Is it our soul that's ascending, or is it our ego that's ascending? Because you can have that negative ascension. I didn't really talk so much to this ever before, but you can have a negative ascension if your ego and your sense of separation is the one that's transcending and reaching this higher state of connection with spirit. That is like a negative ascension, where you become like Lucifer, like this fallen angel who thinks they're higher than God. Positive ascension is going beyond self, and your soul, your consciousness, your experiencer is reaching that connection with source. So oftentimes when people are just beginning to awaken, they have no idea what the difference is between somebody who has ascended in that negative way, their ego self has ascended to be in that connection with spirit, and somebody whose consciousness, their awareness, their soul has ascended and connected with spirit in that way. And I think there's a lot of choice points that people are offered when we're all kind of in this spiritual world, like testing and sampling. I like this idea. I like that idea. I like this teacher. I like that teacher. This teacher triggered me today. I'm going to go listen to that one instead. And as we go through that journey, there's many different tests and twists on the turns. So, our ego is tested like here, there. If you follow this path, you'll be perfect and rich forever. And then there's more authentic teachers like here. This is a continual process of examining your shadows and looking at the things that you don't want to see, and being open and malleable, and being open to change, and realizing it's about your state of being, not what you manifest. And so you have the choice point. You have the artificial narcissistic spirituality, or you have the real deal, the service to others. And oftentimes the narcissistic spirituality can kind of gaslight us into thinking we have to be perfect, or get this, or manifest this, or be this sort of like this triggerless kind of entity in order to be successful or be spiritual. And we have to throw away those concepts and just be who we are. So other tools to work with this: visualizing yourself as you've already done it. What does that feel like? Get in touch with that. Tune back into that feeling state as much as you can. And then the shadow work, being able to investigate your negative beliefs and release them, meditating a lot. And our self-care is so important when we work with others as well. Are you exercising? Are you eating well? Do you have good posture? Do you speak powerfully? These are really important things. Keeping your body aligned, keeping your body exercised, keeping yourself fit and healthy, super important. What you eat, you become. What you eat, you are. So eat well. And I feel like sound healing is a really powerful tool, especially if our gift is using our voice, which for many of us it is. When we learn how to tone, and you can look back through my videos, the chakra toning, when we tone intentionally to vibrate our chakra centers with our voice, to generate that somatic response of release and openness as we sing or as we speak, then every time we start to open our voice, we can consciously be doing that in the background. I'm always doing that. I'm always aware of how the way I'm speaking is massaging my inner energy body. So it's not like when I'm making videos or talking with people, I'm totally draining myself. I'm using my voice to open and expand my energy too. And as you do that, very powerful things can happen. So that's another amazing tool. And if you find that there's a lot of trauma around expressing yourself and being seen and putting your gifts out into the world because as a child you were kind of forced to shut yourself off, or you were really rejected for your gifts, then doing inner child work is really important as well. Look for my video about inner child work. It's a couple years old. Or look for other teachers of inner child work. There's so many different takes on it out there. I really resonate with Teal Swan's The Completion Process, but it's about re-experiencing and then reframing our early childhood memories so that that part of us in the background isn't sabotaging us and isn't kind of bringing the past into the present to make us feel inadequate. So that's a really powerful tool as well, and I totally recommend that to everybody, especially if you find that there's that traumatic response there. And, you know, dancing, singing, enjoying, playing in all of the majesty and beauty that is life is really key to doing anything, because behind what you're sharing, people feel your core vibration. They feel if you're happy and shiny or if you are not. So sometimes it's really just about doing that self-care, but not doing the self-care, again, in a way, coming back to the first point, not doing the self-care in a way to perfect yourself in order to, doing the self-care for its own sake, doing the self-care recognizing I am perfect right now, I am perfect as I am, I'm totally capable of healing and sharing with the people that need me now, regardless of any of this. But I'm doing this for me, and I'm doing this to enjoy it. I'm doing this to relish in it and just let myself unwind. And so we have that active and passive phase united in union. I think that's enough for this video. I don't want to make it too long. I hope that's really helped you. Let me know if you have questions. You're amazing, magical, and awesome. So put yourself out there into the world, regardless of where you're at. Even if it's just having gentle conversations with people about spirituality, you're helping them. And the more that you serve, the more the universe will serve you. The more love you put out, the more love you'll in turn receive. So just do it. I think it always comes back to that. Just do it. Adios. Ciao for now. Tune in to the weekly channeling sessions on Fridays on Zoom, and I'm available for one-to-one sessions, channeling, astrology, coaching, healing, all the things. And let's light the world up. Many blessings to you today.